Hi everybody, Jill Lancet. Welcome or welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today is Thursday. Yesterday in gorgeous, beautiful downtown Greystanes, we had no power. It didn't come on back on until late in the night. I went off to trivia and came home and the power was back on, so that was good because then I could put my electric blanket on because it was freezing. Okay, so given today's Thursday, I guess I better tell you about tonight's card. But before I tell you about that, I got a gorgeous card from Jeanette, my friend Jeanette. Jeanette, I have put that in a very safe place and I can't find it. When I find it, I'll show everybody. It was a lovely card and very, very innovative, Jeanette. It was really lovely. But, yep, it's in a very safe place. If only I could remember where that safe place was. Now, the other thing I wanted to tell you about is, we're at the pointy end of the BOGO sale. If you're not sure what a BOGO sale is, you buy one, get one 50%, and it's for sweet collections or products that are within the sweet collection. So if you just wanted the bundle, you buy the stamps and the dies separately and you get the lesser priced item at half price. Or you can buy one suite and get a second suite for 50% off. So that ends on the 30th. So you better get cracking. You haven't got a terrible lot of time left. Okay, so now that's the business out of the way. I saw this card. It popped up in my YouTube feed just this week. But I had seen the particular focal point years ago and I didn't think too much about it, but I'll actually either pop the link to the one I saw the other day, excuse me, or I'll give you her name. Depends on what I remember to do. But it's such a sweet little card. It's so whimsical. I love different, I love trying to think outside the box, and this certainly does fit the bill. So I've done an awful lot because it's midweek and we all got stuff to do. So I have done some things, so I'm going to show you what I've got here and we'll finish this card, and I hope that you're going to love this as much as I do. So I've got all these little bits and pieces here. I hope this is piquing your interest. I've got a strip of that gorgeous paper. I did actually buy new tips for my Take Your Pick the other day because the other one was had run out of the sticky stuff that's inside it. So, yep, got a couple of new ones of those. I've got an ink dauber, a little ink dauber here. But the star of the show is obviously the card. Now, look, I got schmutz all over that, but that's okay because we're going to cover that, and I will go through this with you, okay? So I better show you the stamp sets that we're using today. I'm using this beautiful big sentiment from Everyday You and Me. All the details will be below in the description. So this sentiment here, love every moment. The next one is one that you may or may not have seen. It has not been released yet. It will be released in July, I think the 1st of July. Don't quote me, but it's an online exclusive product. So you won't see that in a catalogue. It's called Charming Day. I have the stamp set and the die sets, and we're using one die from the set. Oh, hang on. Hold your horses, honey, we're stuck. And I've got it here. I'm going to show you it. But beautiful, beautiful dies. There's 8 dies in there all together. And this beautiful stamp. I love these open flowers. You can colour them. You can colour them any colour you want, make your own combination, use different techniques. You can use watercolour pencils, you can use the markers, the blends, or the marker, you know, whatever. Beautiful, beautiful open flower stamp. Gorgeous, gorgeous. The other thing we're using is a die from the Delightful Wishes bundle, and it's this one that creates the twig or the stick. I really, for some reason or other, I really like that. Okay, so I've got a whole pile of stuff here, and I think we'll just get straight into this because let me just tell you, it's freezing in here. So I'm going to do this and get out and get warm. Okay, so I have my card base here, and it's a standard card base. So whatever a standard card base is in your country, that's what we are talking about. You may need a copy of this free template that I offer. You do need to email me, and the email address is tilly2145@gmail.com. You need to email me so I can email it back to you. No strings attached, free, okay? It gives A4 metric and it gives US letter size. So I'm actually going to be referring to this. So I'm using a card base. In metric, it is 10.5 by 14.85 centimetres. In US letter size, it is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Okay, now we need matte 1, and I have this in Pretty Peacock. And I'm not sure if you can see, but I've actually inked the edges just with this little ink dauber and some early espresso, just to give it that really rustic look. So that is matte 1. In Australia, it is 10 by 14.3 centimetres. In the US, it is 4 by 5 1/4. We're going to go down now in size to matte 3. In metric, it is 9 by 13.3 centimetres. In the US, it is 3 1/2 by 4 3/4. All of these details will be in the description, so don't panic. You don't have to rewind that. It'll all be written down there. But you can request the free copy of those matte sizes. Just request matte templates and I'll get those out to you as soon as possible. So that's the basis of our card. Now I'm actually going to take that off because I don't need them anymore. And hold your horses, honey, while I just take these off. And what I did with the basic white piece, which is the matte 3 size, I just used our blending brushes and just put some Lost Lagoon on there. Now that's as patchy as anything, and it doesn't matter. It does not have to be. This is going to end up being quite rustic, this card. And yes, I'm using that word again. So what I did was I just used the blending brush, and then I've done the same thing with the ink dauber with the early espresso around all 4 sides. So they are the 2 layers for our card. And they are going to go on there like that. I'm not going to put them on there quite yet. So the next thing we have is I have die cut from that beautiful new set that won't be out until the 1st of July, the Charming Day, this gorgeous, gorgeous sprig. And it's so lovely. Now, the first one I did, I thought might have been just a little bit too dark. I've done it from the 2-sided Lost Lagoon cardstock that I have. And so I thought I'd do it with the lighter side, and I'll show you how I finished this up. So I'm just going to peel that out of there. Just give me 2 ticks, guys. Hang on while I just pop this out, and I'll show you what you can do with your dies, with your die cuts. Look, just to make things a little bit more interesting, okay? So I'm peeling that out, and I've got that there. Now I do need a piece of scrap paper. Just bear with me for one tick. Right. I have a supply of scrap paper right next to me, and do you think I can get the drawer open when I need it in a hurry? No, of course not. Okay, so this is our gorgeous little die cut. Look, let me hold that up and show you that. How beautiful is that? How beautiful and delicate is that? I love it. You know what? They look like gum nuts to me. And so the lighter Lost Lagoon, to me, looks like a eucalyptus leaf. So that's the thought process behind that. Now, I'm going to take my, this is called SU100. I'm not sure, I don't think it's got a name, but it's the darkest of the neutrals. There's a set of neutrals, and this is the darkest one. Now, back when I bought them, that was what the number was. So I'll try and find it in the catalogue, and I'll put it in the description below. So I'm just using the broad tip, and just where the branches meet the leaves, I'm just colouring in the branches. So it takes a minute. So just, I don't know, just enjoy the process. You know, we need to not hurry too much these days. Fortunately, or unfortunately, you don't realise that until you're a little bit older, that, you know, not everything has to be in fast forward. Enjoy the process. So it literally really only takes a couple of seconds. And we have now made this not one colour, but two. Where's the lid? Here it is. Hold your horses. So there it is there. Let me pop that on there. So now we've got kind of a realistic looking branch. Now I'm going to add to that. I cut out quite a few of these, and I'm going to add in some of this to our card when the time comes. But I want to show you the next exciting element that's going to go on this card. Here's our strip of paper, and it's this gorgeous, gorgeous, what's this called? Everyday Happiness. I chose this one because both sides were quite different. I did it so that it's 1 inch or 2.5 centimetres wide. It is the full 12 inches in length, and we're simply going to, believe it or not, tie a knot in this strip of paper. Yes, you heard correctly. We're going to tie a knot. So this is longer than we need it. Okay, this is quite longer than we need it. And at the end of the day, you will be able to choose which side you want most prominent. So to tie a knot in paper, it's actually, it's not as hard as you would think, okay? So I'm just crossing this over like that. I'm going to put that through there like that. And then I'm going to gently, gently, gently tighten the knot as we go along. Okay. Now you don't want to tighten it so much that it scrunches right up completely, but you want to have it snug around here, and you want to have it snug around here. So, and then we're going to actually flatten that out. So once you've got it all nice and snug, I'm just going to give that a bit of a press down with my bone folder. And I know you're thinking, yeah, Okay, what are we making? Hold your horses. Get ready for that brain explosion, okay? So it depends which way you want this to go. I think I'll have him going like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sort of, and you can do this. You can do this yourself. You can find something that is rounded and you can trace around that. So I'm just going to pop that down there like that. Just have a little bit of an idea of like a semicircle, and I'm just going to cut that. I'm going to tidy it up as I go around, just like that. And then this end, I'm going to trim it off just a smidge, and then I'm going to flag the end. And just in case you're still not sure what the heck is going on here, all will be revealed. So I had about that much left over. So that's a fairly nice sized scrap. So now I've got this shape here. Now I'm wondering if you can guess what this is going to be. Absolutely gorgeous. Now I've got a scrap of black here, and it's just a strip. So I just want to cut a little triangle sized piece. Look at that tiny little piece. That's all I need. So that's why you never throw your scraps out. And I'm going to just pop that down there like that. I'm going to get a tiny, tiny, tiny little, oh, yep. Look at that. It's splooshed out everywhere. Just hold on. Oh my goodness me. Right, now we've got it on both sides. It won't matter. So I'm going to just pop that there like that and give that a little minute to bond. I'm going to clean up that glue. Lucky I've got my my tracky dacks on. If you're not from Australia, you may not know what tracky dacks are, but they're tracksuit pants, guys. And I'm going to draw a little eye around about there, if my Sharpie works. There we go. You see what it is now? It's a little bird. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to put a little bit of early espresso on it, and I'm going to just curve this pointed part at the tip of the knot. Just going to curve that just a little bit like that, and I'm going to just go right around the edges on this little bird, just to tie it in with the rustic look that we've got there. Yeah, I just turned that music down a little bit, and yep, all the way around, just to accentuate my little birdie. How stinking gorgeous is that? Really, that is absolutely so, so sweet. So now I'm going to pop this together. I've got my bits and pieces here. I'm going to pop this together. I'm going to stamp our gorgeous message right across the top. It's a really big message, so it's going to fill up that whole top third of the card, which is really great. I'm doing it in the early espresso just to tie it in. And yeah, we're nearly there, guys. I did do some of the prep. It wasn't a terrible lot, but there we go. I think that looks straight. I don't know. I'm not right over the top of it, but I'm just going to pop that down, cross my fingers, hope that that is straight. I'm just giving that a nice little even press. Look at that. How beautiful. Right, that's going on there. I'm going to just put that on with some liquid glue. You can use whatever glue you like, whatever your favourite glue is, whether it's tear and tape, whether it's seal, whatever you like. I like the liquid glue, and I'm just popping that down like that. Okay, so now we've got this. I think it looks really nice. So I have the first one and I have the second one that I made, and one is the darker. Hang on, they're all tangled up now. Hang on. So one is the darker of the two. I think I like the lighter one, to be honest. I mean, it's not a great deal of difference. It's not a terrible great deal of difference, to be sure. Actually, I think I like the darker one now that I've done that. So I've got a couple of these twigs, and I wanted to just sort of like have the bird sitting up in a tree, and we can trim that off, and we'll have our little bird perched up here somehow. And yeah, what do you think about that? Now we're going to need to cut that bit off there, so let's just cut that first. And have him nestled in this tree branch like that somehow. Oh, I can have it going this way and have him nestled on there. Oh, that looks nice. Okay, let's do that. We'll just snip this right off, and then I'll just glue that on there. You don't need a lot of glue, guys, just a little bit. And I tend to kind of spread that along because it's such a skinny little branch. Yeah. So I'm going to pop that down and have it so that he is kind of perched on that. I'll have that lined up with the edge there, just like that. And then he can be look, he can even be sitting on that branch there. And then I want to pop this branch on as well. So I think we'll just have him like that. So I'll glue him on. I want to pop a bit of glue here, and I just want to pop a couple of dimensionals, one behind his head and one behind his tail. And then I'm going to pop a bit of glue on the bottom and have him sitting happily in this tree. So where am I going to have him? Just like that. Look at him. What a gorgeous little bird. And then I can put this one here however I want. So I shall just glue that down. I'll just glue the bottom ones down and leave the top ones, I think, quite loose. And just have him nestled in those gorgeous, gorgeous leaves. What do you think? What do you think about that? I think that is so, so gorgeous. Now I can pop this up onto dimensionals if I want to. I don't think I will. I think I'll just glue that straight on. That's our quick card. Now if you've got like 1-inch strips of designer series paper, you can make these little birds. How gorgeous is that? Now, Love Every Moment could be for heaps and heaps of occasions. New house, new baby. That could be a mama bird sitting on a nest. What do you think? I think that's gorgeous. I think just cutting this out of that Lost Lagoon and then colouring in the branch was very, very quick. It was very, very simple. You could do that for any cards that you make with that little die set. I think that's fantastic little bird. I'm really glad it popped up into my feed again because I had forgotten about it. I'd seen it years ago, but I had actually totally forgotten about it. Who would have thought you could tie a knot in a strip of paper? Guys, let me know what you think about that. I think that's brilliant. Give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. Share this with your crafty friends. I'm sure they would love to make these birds. Now, obviously, if you use a thinner strip, you're going to get a smaller bird. I just wanted my little birdie to be the focal point. I think it's brilliant. I'm sorry, but I can't stop looking at it now. Now that it's out of my head and into a card. Yeah. So obviously you could put whatever greeting you want inside. I haven't done that, guys. I wanted to make this fairly quick, 26 minutes or something. Give me a comment. Let me know what you think about that. Do you think you're going to have a go at that? I think that's, look, depending on your designer series paper, you could make these birds any colour you want. You could decorate it with whatever you like. I was thinking about making a nest, some sort of a nest, having all of these little twigs so this little bird could be sitting in a nest. But, you know, I opted for the simpler version. Quick is good sometimes. So, look, I'm going to love you and leave you. Thank you again so much for spending a bit of time with me tonight. I'm frozen. My hands are freezing. I don't know whether you can see how cold they are. But I just want to leave you with a thank you again. Please, please stay safe. Stay kind. Hooray. Bye for now.